Well, my dear friends, here we are once again. Another year with an empty shul. Another year apart from each other. If you look, I left up on the little luach up there, Parshat Re'eh. That was the last time. We actually weren't in shul for Parshat Re'eh. We were going to be in shul, and then just before that we locked down. And here we are without a clear sense of when it is that we're going to be together again. A few days before Rosh Hashana, a few days before a new year. And we thought last year, when I shared similar messages just before 5781, we said, of course, 5781 is going to be much better than 5780. 2021 will be so much better than 2020, but who knows? We're not out of it yet. Certainly not out of it yet. Many difficult days lie ahead. One of the things that many people have been discussing and talking about amidst the challenging times that we have, you might hear this from time to time. People say, oh, at least this is not Afghanistan. Oh, look what's going on over there. At least we're not in Afghanistan. Now, it is important to have perspective. It is important to have perspective on the struggles that we have over here in relation to the way in which people have been struggling all over the world. That is true. But it doesn't do us much good. Right? Yes, we have to remember what our forefathers went through in Europe, but we also need to be real with what is going on right now. We need to not run away from the feelings, from the difficulties that we might be experiencing right now in this very moment. This is one of the themes of a book that I've been reading over the past few weeks that has been allowing me to find perspective as I draw close to this new year and as I struggle with the things that I'm struggling with right now, like all of you. This is the book called The Choice by Edith Eger. For those of you who do not know her, Edith Eger she still is, may she live at 120. She survived Auschwitz. She was a ballet dancer, and she danced for Mengele, who chose her because of her ability to dance. Edith Eger's parents were murdered, al Kiddush Hashem, in the Holocaust, and one of her sisters actually came and was able to come to Sydney and become a violinist in the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. But her and her other sister, went through the Holocaust and were able to survive, and eventually she came to America. An amazing story. I really, really recommend, just even for the sake of her story. But one day she came across the teachings of Viktor Frankl. And it was the teachings of Viktor Frankl that allowed her not only to find healing within herself, but also to be able to become a therapist, a psychologist, and to be able to help others and support others in their journeys towards healing from amidst the brokenness that they experienced. And this was one of the main ideas that she communicated. People often try to say, oh, well, we didn't go through Auschwitz, or we didn't go through this, we didn't go through that. She said, you're right, but wherever you are right now, it's difficult for you. Own that. Own that. But, Edith Eger communicates this idea of a choice, of the importance of making a choice. That in every circumstance that life gives us, in every circumstance. Sorry, when's the last time I got to use a computer when giving the Rosh Hashana Drasha? In every circumstance that life presents before us, we have a choice. We can choose how to respond to them. We can choose what we're going to do in that particular circumstance. Edith Eger, she actually, as remarkable as it sounds, and many people chose not to do this, and we of course understand why, she chose to go back to Auschwitz. She chose to go back there. And she even chose to forgive Hitler. Not for Hitler, Yamach Shemo V'Zichro, not for him, but for her. She chose not to be shackled by the idea that was in her mind. Remarkable person. I'm not saying that's for everybody. But she said, you must choose. You must choose. And as I was reading her words, I no doubt thought of the words that we just read this past week in Parsha Nitzavim, Uvacharta b'chayim. Choose life in every circumstance that you are in. Choose life. That doesn't mean in every circumstance that you are in, move away so it can become the ideal situation. No, wherever you are, however life presents itself, it's what it's supposed to be, but then make choices that are filled with life. This is not ideal. This is not great. This is not a blessing necessarily. Choose. Make the right choices within it. I say it's not a blessing necessarily because Edith Eger herself said, and I'm going to share with you her words, she says, our painful experiences aren't a liability. They're a gift. They give us perspective and meaning, an opportunity to find our unique purpose and our strength. So she says that the difficulties that we go through can, with the right choices being made, can become gifts. We don't see that now. I'm not saying we should see that now. And to be honest, we're really not even close to being out of this. There's difficult times ahead. And we can't kind of kid ourselves. But we have to be here for each other, support each other, continue to do things that we can in order to kind of just like stay mentally and physically healthy and fit, and choose life. The world is what it is right now for a reason. We must continue to choose life. Uvacharta b'chayim, we are told. Choose life. We ask on Rosh Hashana, Zochreinu l'chaim, melech chafetz b'chayim, v'chatvenu b'sefer ha'chayim lemancha Elokim chayim. Remember us for life, the King who desires life, and write us in the book of life for your sake, the God of life. We say, Hashem, you are the God of life. You desire life. Why must there be so much sickness and death? Why must the lives that we live be stripped of those things that we find meaningful and beautiful and powerful and important, like family and like shul and community? We don't get it. And so we say, Hashem, Zochreinu l'chaim. Remember life. Remember our life. We don't know. We don't know. We didn't know last year. We don't know this year. But what we do know is that we must, more than ever, turn to Hashem in teshuvah. This is a wake-up call. It always has been. And I've shared this with you many, many times. This is a wake-up call. To live life, to not take the little things for granted, to embrace spiritual growth, to do teshuvah, each of us in our own way, to do teshuvah, to choose life. Edith Eger, at the end of her amazing book, she says, here you are, in the sacred present. I can't heal you or anyone, but I can celebrate your choice to dismantle the prison in your mind, brick by brick. You can't change what happened. You can't change what you did or what was done to you, but you can choose how to live now. My precious, you can choose to be free. And this is such an important message that we take with us. Nobody, if given the choice, would choose what we have gone through over the past 2 years. We wouldn't choose it. But here is where we are. And most of the challenges that we face, yes, there's sickness and illness around, but for most of us, the challenges are within. And so on Rosh Hashana, we reaffirm our faith in God and say, Hashem, even though it's not perfect, even though it's broken, I still see you here. I still know you are here, and I still see myself as an important part of that. And I see the responsibility to make the right choices and to choose life. And so this is my blessing to each and every one of you, that Hashem should remember us for life and write and inscribe and seal each and every one of us in the book of life, the book of the living, those who can live now. We remember fondly a life that was, a life where we could go to the supermarket whenever we wanted, where we could go to shul whenever we wanted, we could travel overseas whenever we wanted, we could do whatever we wanted when we wanted. We remember that and we mourn the loss of that life, and it is a great loss. But that is not and was not the ideal. There does exist an ideal that does include us being able to go to shul whenever we want and to travel and see family whenever we want. But that ideal is you and I living in the land of Israel in the times of the redemption, with family, with community, with a world that is healthy and happy and harmonious. And so we can mourn. It's okay to mourn what we are missing from that old world. But what we are praying for is a new world, a world of peace, a world of health, a world of happiness, a world of redemption. May it come into this world, into reality in the year 5782. Wishing you all a Shana Tova Umetuka.